What's up, Chiefs Kingdom?
We're coming at you with jaw-dropping plays from this week's practices,
surprise roster shakeups,
and the latest on the Chiefs' big plans.
This week's episode is packed. Let's get into it. From the heart of Kansas City, we bring you Buck and Bob take on Chiefs Kingdom. I'm Bob.
I'm Buck. We're not fancy analysts,
but we have just as many bad takes. What's up, Buck?
Oh, tired, man. Working on this heat and working some long hours. Not like crazy long hours, but like 9 to 10 hours a day sometimes. It's a little much, but glad we finally got to fit this in this week, man. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling better. I was not the greatest. I went to Worlds and Oceans of Fun Saturday, and yeah, I caught COVID and
got the vid.
Yeah, and I was down and out, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday started to feel a little bit better. Wednesday, feeling better. Today, 100%. Even played golf today.
Of course you did.
Yep.
I can totally see you feeling 80%, but wanting to golf so bad that you would tell Melissa, I'm 100%.
That might be what happened.
I could see that. I could see a world where that happens.
Yeah, but I was up at 6 a.m.
Yeah. Got
a quick 9 holes in, went and ran errands, went to the dog park. But then I had a horrible experience. Yep. I've told you that my favorite barbecue is Wind Up Barbecue, right? Dude, I went today. Unreal. I go like every 3 weeks or so, and I buy like $65 worth of food, and eat on it for a few days. Well, I went today, and I get all this food. Then I'm like, hey, can I get a ramekin of ketchup to go? And she goes, we don't do that. I was like, well, man, I've been coming for 25 years, and they give it to me every time I ask. She's like, we don't do that. I was like, okay, well, can I buy an extra thing of sauce then? So I bought an extra thing of sauce and went to the bathroom, washed it out, filled it up with ketchup, and she gave me this dirty look, and I was like, okay. So then I had left my car running but locked because the dog was in the car. But I parked right outside so I could see it, left it running, so I won't leave the dog in the car without the AC on, right? And so I eat, the dog eats too, some fries and stuff, and then I come back in and I'm gonna top off my drink and get some water for the dog, and she yells at me across the room. It's like, you can't have free refills. We don't do free refills. And I'm thinking to myself, well, they always have done free refills before. It's just like, I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to grab a cup of water for my dog then. And she goes, no. I was like, ma'am, my dog's thirsty. I'm getting a cup of water. So I went and got a cup of water, and she's just yelling at me across the thing. And I'm just like, I back out of the door. And I'm like, dude, I've been coming here for 25 years, and I've never, ever been. This is just a horrible experience. And she goes, I've been working here 35 years. I was like, and I don't want to give them a bad review because it's my favorite barbecue place and they've never done me wrong. But this girl who I've never seen before, who supposedly worked there for 36 years, just gave me, she just instantly hated me. And it just bummed out my day.
Maybe she's a Raiders fan.
Dude, I don't know, man. It was weird. Yeah, that's been my week and day.
Wow.
Oh, it's a bummer. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Chiefs.
The Kansas City Chiefs?
The Kansas City Chiefs.
From the heart of Kansas City.
Touchdown, Kansas City. One thing I wanted to bring up real quick, though. Dude, so if you ask around Kansas City, what are OTAs, right? A lot of people, including us, before just like a couple weeks ago, would have said off-season trading something,
I thought
you know,
optional was part of it.
or optional,
Yeah.
optional trading something. But I found out that we found out that OTAs just stands for off-season team activities. But it goes further. See, I always thought that was going to be trading, but for other teams, lots of them go to like Top Golf. They play frisbee golf, laser tag, bowling. It's like team building activity,
Yeah.
like friendship building, like what you would do at work. Hey, and I can't imagine a bunch of big NFL guys doing an escape room. Just be like, oh, okay, I can't move.
Yeah. Yeah, I've only done one escape room, and it was tiny. I mean, we're talking like I'm 60 square foot rooms. Like,
Dude. But the Chiefs, I didn't even know what OTAs were until like probably 8 years ago or so, right? When I started becoming a real big football fan and really getting into it. But I guess most teams don't even really take it seriously, and most teams don't have good attendance. And that just goes to show you the Chiefs use this as a time to train so that they hit training camp, with a running start where they're, giving them the playbook. They're not going to go over at start of training camp. They're going to hit the ground running. And that's another reason why our Chiefs are so good year in and year out. Like there's so many layers to why the Chiefs are so good year in and year out.
and it starts with the leadership. I mean, Andy Reid, but Patrick Mahomes has the buy-in. But listen, there's a
And
lot of
Kelce.
quarterbacks. There's a lot of quarterbacks around the league that have that attitude that Mahomes has. But it's the fact that he has that star power on the field that he can lead the team, and he adopts Andy Reid's mindset, and it's just a beautiful harmony. And like you said, Travis Kelce fits right in, and so it's like those kind of guys fit into this scheme. They fit into this team. They fit into this mindset. Um, it's it's fun to watch. At this point, I don't want to look too far ahead in the future, but at some point we're gonna have to find a replacement for Patrick Mahomes. I remember having this discussion about.
Ooh, let's not talk
I know,
about
I
that.
know. I'm just saying. I remember having this discussion about Tony Gonzalez. And then
Yeah, Travis Kelce just fell
Travis
into our lap.
Kelce falls into our laps. I mean,
I
he
told
wasn't.
everybody there's no way we get another
There's no
amazing tight
chance,
end. Yeah, I
and we
was
got
telling
one that's
everybody that.
maybe better. Maybe better.
All right, well, post Mahomes, I say Mahomes just plays till he's 50, and then Golden, we just draft him. He just takes right over for dad.
I'm sold.
Golden Mahomes just jumps right in.
Let's sign that contract now.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and let's do it. Just keep him in Kansas. Just keep him in Kansas City, born and raised. I mean, he came out with a arrowhead around his neck. It sounds perfect to me.
If this is structured and planned now, he can be ready by the time he's 17, 18, 19. I mean, ready to take the helm.
You still have to go to college for at least a year, right? Or 2 years? I don't know if that's.
They can speed him through the high school process, be ready for college at 14.
Doogie Howser, but
Get him
in
through
football
it.
terms.
Yeah.
Hey, as long as he gets his education, I'm cool with it. But let's let the poor kid have a childhood.
All right.
Yep. Just Mahomes needs to play till he's 50. We're all good. Yeah, I mean, Tom did it till like 47, right? So, I mean, we have a chance.
Was he that old?
I think he was about 47. Guess what?
I know he said he wanted to play till he was 50. I think he said at one point. Was that him? Yeah, it was.
How old was Tom? And it was the first thing. 45 years old when he retired. Okay, so, I mean, we could get close. Yeah.
He's gonna be 30 this year, so yeah.
Yeah.
We might have to deal with a couple of years of non-Mahomes greatness.
All right. Well, mandatory minicamp did start up, and dude, we only had one absence. Even Trey Smith showed up,
Yeah,
which is really
it's a
big.
great time.
Yeah, like this is something we were worried about. I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit before the Kelce talk in our notes because I think this is something that we were really scared about. Is if Trey would actually be? We'll go back to Kelce and Hollywood, but yeah, we were really scared because we weren't sure if Trey was mad. We weren't sure what was going on. But I'm gonna play this clip. I kind of did a clip mashup of a few different things. This is actually Chris Jones. Now, the first question he's asked is about Omar Norman Lott, but the second set of questions he's asked him about are about Trey Smith, and they're kind of funny. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that up now.
He's an athletic guy, SEC guy. You know,
This is
we built
about
different
Omar.
over there. This is a different breed of football in the SEC. Shout out to Big Ten too. I respect the Big Ten. But yeah, it's different in the SEC, and he's strong, explosive, and got a little baby weight on him. But I think by the time training camp is over with, beginning of the season, he'll be ready to go. Well, it's good. Trey didn't take my approach.
Now he's talking about Trey.
Trey done the right thing, man. I think the future plans for the Chiefs is to have Trey around. He's a pivotal part of our offensive line. To have him back out here, he's a superior guard in this league. Could be all pro this year. His body of work speaks for itself. So we're glad to have him back out. Brings a lot of energy to the offensive line, and it's a good way for us to compete on the defensive line. No, don't take no advice from me. Like I did things a little different. Don't take no advice from me. Trey, you're in a good place. Franchise tag is like $25 million, right? That's the big bucks. Yeah, he's in a good place. Stay healthy. Be ready to compete in training camp, which I know Trey will be, and we're excited to have him around. Did I do it differently?
Would you do it differently now if you had it to do again? Just from the way you're describing it, it sounds like that.
Did I do it differently when I had this position?
Would you do it differently?
Would I? Yeah. I'm asking you, did I do it differently when I was in this position? You got your answer right there.
He's pretty funny, man. He's pretty funny.
He understood the question right away.
Oh, he
absolutely
did. And then he said, "Did I do it differently?" But he's basically saying, "Yeah, I would do it differently."
No, he's saying he'd do it the same way.
Oh no, we read it completely different. Interesting.
Yeah, he said, "Did I do it differently back then?"
Well,
why would I do it different now?
Maybe you might be right. I don't know. Thinking. I read it differently because of what he said prior to that. It's like Trey's doing it the right way. Don't do it like me. Don't take my advice.
Yeah, but I still think he's giving that's his.
You might be right. I don't know, man. He's like a puzzle. He's like an onion. He has layers.
Yeah, he's got layers. He's definitely got it. He's like a multi-layered cake.
Oh man, but yeah, so Trey coming back in is a good sign. I'm worried though, because I can judge a lot of positions, I think, pretty well at this point. I cannot judge offensive line super well yet. I'm working on that. It's hard for me to tell what's going on tape. There's so much going on inside there. I can't really see as much as I can see with other positions like running back, wide receiver, etc. Corner.
Well, it's because on offense, the main shot that you're going to see is following the ball. And that's what 95% of the viewing public wants to see. That's what I want to see, honestly. But it would be nice to have a view to go back and watch that now, to also have all the time to watch all of those snaps. And that's, that's the job that Andy Heck has. He
Yeah, I
watches
might
those snaps probably 10, 20 times a piece.
spring for that NFL all 31 camera thing. I'm gonna have to see how expensive it is, but yeah. So I don't know, but from what I understand, he's not like a top 5 guard. He's like a top 15 guard, according to the experts, right? So I think he's gonna want top 5 money. And like, is that a smart investment? I don't know, but he is so young and still has so much room to grow. But it's just like we already pay, Creed Humphrey, which the majority of the analysts say is like,
Number
if not
one.
the best, at least top 3,
Yeah.
that's agreed across the board. So that's what's kind of scary is, what's he going to want? And that's where I'm kind of worried about, them getting all a long-term deal.
Yeah. Do you think that he won't take less than top 5 money though? Or do you I mean, I don't think the Chiefs are willing to give him that much. Maybe top 10 money.
See, that's what I don't know. That's why we might be just
And maybe
stuck with the
that's
franchise tag.
maybe that's where we're meeting in the middle, and maybe that's how I'm choosing to see him showing up to OTAs and playing the good guy, playing the good teammate. Whether it's something he's kind of forcing himself to do, or whether he really, really wants to be there. I'm hoping it's a meet in the middle. He thinks top 5. The talking heads that be say top 15. Let's meet at 10.
Nope. We
If
have
the Chiefs, if they have the money to do it, I don't know enough about the money side of it.
They would, because they would backload it. So it would, if they even gave him 23 mil, average AM year, it would be backloaded. So it would be less this year, probably about half of that. So, but they have until July 15th to sign him. I'm hoping that they do, but I just don't know.
And so if they
I'm not
don't,
sure.
because they franchise tagged him, then they've got to pay him I think it's 25 million is what Chris Jones. I don't know if that number is exactly right.
23.4 mil.
Okay. So, but if they sign him before then they pay him whatever the contract stipulates, and he doesn't get the franchise money too, right?
No. Okay. That the franchise tag would be done. But he has already signed his franchise tender, so he's already on the team regardless. But I'm just a little worried about it. Also, I'm still not counting out a trade. We got a lot of capable guards on the team. So I just don't know.
Capable. We're trying to focus on this left tackle situation. Why would we mess everything else? Oh, come on, man. Work with us here, man. Like, let's keep these guys together. I understand.
Well, and Trey works so well with Creed. And also, there's something a lot of people don't take into account with Trey either. So the experts say that Trey's not a top 5. But it could be that Trey is a top 5. It's just the numbers don't show it because Juwan Taylor basically just leaves him hanging every time he steps 50 feet back. And Trey is left to cover that whole huge gap.
Yeah.
Right. So it could be, like Juwan Taylor gives him no help. That I can see on tape. I mean, he even moves back early. That's why he gets so many false starts. Right. So that I can definitely see. But either way, let's hope something happens there. Tell us in the comments, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think we're going to sign him? Do you think we're going to trade him? Do you think we're just going to franchise tag him and work on the contract next year? But if we could get him signed. We could start working on something with McDuffie too, like, or George Carr Loftus, like this. I mean, McDuffie or Carr Loftus. The sooner we get something going, the better, because those position prices are just going up.
I don't think Karlaftis is going to re-sign. I think he's going to move on.
I think Ashton Gillotti might be making that happen. Yeah. He's been looking really good in camp, but also
I don't know that it's him making it happen. I think the Chiefs were planning, like what are our options here as far as keeping, Karlaftis, or should we try and find somebody in the draft? And they found somebody at the right time that they thought would be a great fit for what Karlaftis does. And I don't think this was maybe some huge plan that they had, but it was kind of like the stars aligned, and it looks like we may be able to go that route now and use that money elsewhere.
Could be. But also, who we talked about at the start of the clip was Omar Norman Lott, who everybody all the experts crapped on, and he's been looking great. Now, all of this is we have to wait till the pads are on. I'm going to be at training camp a bunch. I'm going to be able to give a lot of takes, maybe even take a little phone video. We'll see how. We'll see. I don't know if they kick people out for that, but I saw a lot of people recording, so we'll just have to see. But yeah, Omar Norman Lott, from what everybody's saying, is going to be the starter next to Chris Jones. Now, they rotate 8. That's what Spags does. But they're basically saying he's going to take on Tershawn Wharton's job, which was the starter next to, he had the second most snaps out of, Chris Jones had the most defensive tackle snaps. He had the second. So they think that he's going to be able to do it. And I think there's nothing that says he can't. Like, we never saw him gassed in college. They just only gave him a certain amount of snaps. Like, that was all there was to it. So I think Omar Norman Lott, he said he had a little baby fat, but that'll be gone through training camp. They'll be knocking that Mickey D's right out of his hand.
Get that boy a personal chef.
Well, I mean, the cafeteria at the Chiefs facility does have a chef. I mean,
I'm sure it does.
Good food.
Then when he goes home, McDonald's is right around the corner.
That is true. At DoorDash.
And I'm guessing at this point in his career, stopping at McDonald's isn't going to break the bank. So,
yeah. Well,
maybe a couple of.
Speaking of that, he's the only rookie to have not signed his rookie deal. But it's a little conjecture there. What a lot of people don't say is only 2 of the second round picks in the entire draft have signed their contracts so far. Basically, they're all holding out for guaranteed money. First time that's ever happened with second round picks. It's another thing. I wish there was no, we fixed rookie contracts were out of control back in the day. And then they set them to a set amount, but now you can guarantee or you cannot guarantee. I just wish there was a set amount of guaranteed too, and it's just that's it. You know what I mean? Because this type of stuff is annoying. It's got to be annoying for front offices. It's just annoying, and I just wish say half of their contracts fully guaranteed. Boom, done. That's what I think it should be, and I really don't like this fighting back and forth for how much you're going to fully guarantee and how much you're not. But that's a talk for another time. So yeah, you want to move on to Kelce because this is pretty juicy. So first off, remember how Kelce supposedly lost 25 pounds?
Yes.
Well, he addresses that right at the start of this clip. And then he talks about, I basically just mashed up this press conference and just put the good pieces in that I thought were good. So
Pertinent.
let's watch it.
I never said that.
No. I know you
Don't
didn't say
believe
it.
all you read on the internet, guys. All right. Never told anybody.
What you
I'm
look
down. I'm down some weight. Yeah, from the end of the season last year. But each year is different, man. You gotta rebuild it. And this year, I got some time to really focus on some form running and some things early on in the off season that I just didn't have time for last year. And certainly feeling good, and I think it'll pay off, man. I mean, I got 1 year on this contract. I know that, and we'll try and figure out something for next year. Chiefs organization knows how much I love them. I can't see myself ever playing anywhere else. We'll deal with that down the road when the time is right. But right now, I'm focused on winning the championship this year. Be the best teammate, be the best leader I can. Last year, I think I failed, especially in that last game, and being a leader and being the one that could step up and make plays. So just setting the bar even higher for myself this year than I have in the past. I just didn't make the plays that I thought I should have made. I didn't get open in certain situations, blocking the right guys, having my attention to detail, motivating my guys to get the the energy and the focus and the confidence that we needed during that game. And I just in that area, I just felt like I failed my guys. I love this game. It's still my childhood dream. When I really thought about it, I think this offseason I got back to, just wanting to focus more on this game and getting the most out of this game as I possibly can while I'm still putting on the cleats and putting on the pads. Everybody has their own view on it. Unfortunately for me, I'm only interested in Super Bowl rings. I know what the AFC Championship means to this organization and the family, and the 15 wins and everything.
And probably engagement rings too at some point here soon.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Everything is something special that I let everybody else be happy with. Last year wasn't a success for me, and I'm motivated to make sure that we get that other ring this year.
Yep. So looks like it's Super Bowl or bust for Kelce.
Yeah. Okay. So regarding the weight loss thing, here's what I think happened. I think he looks way better. He looks like he's trimmed down, and somebody probably at some point said he looks like he's lost 25 pounds, but he's in a lot better shape than he was a year ago. And muscle weighs more than fat. So he said he hasn't lost 25 pounds. So my guess is he's probably in the 12 to 15, maybe 18 pound range. It's just a guess. But I think if he hadn't lost any weight, he would have said, I haven't lost anything. But he's still going to look thinner and trimmer because he's in way better shape.
Well, and some speculate that, so Jason Kelce, his brother, said that he had lost 25 pounds since on New Heights. So somebody, reporter looking for clicks, or a Twitter reporter, or somebody said it. And I mean, we even said it but we said supposedly, but still, that's what happens. You can't believe, but we did look at it and go like, well, there's no way he lost 25 pounds from his weight that's on, his actual stat sheet, because he'd be real thin. What's up, HD Chiefs fan? Honeymoon time is over.
Go to work.
Yep. Time to go to work. Honeymoon is over. Time to go to work. Yeah. I mean, I think, he says it best. I mean, something was up in that Super Bowl. He looked like his head was spinning. He looked like he wasn't even there. He had a blank stare at many times. He wasn't, he talked about pumping his guys up and how he failed at that. He wasn't doing that. I mean, I agree with everything he said, but I'm loving the attitude he's coming with now. And
it doesn't
seem he
forced.
really wants it.
It doesn't seem faked. Yeah, it seems very genuine. And he's not the kind of guy that can really fake that excitement. You can feel it. Like remember when Tamba showed up in the room that first time we met him, and you could just feel it in the air. Like that's who he is. His charisma just like oozes out of him.
I'm the charisma tonight.
So excited to see what Travis has to show us this season.
Well, it's going to be interesting because remember the other thing Tamba talked about. Remember how
Jiu-jitsu?
they keep track of every play that they make, and
Yep.
all the snaps they've done.
Yep.
Are they is Andy gonna let Kelce play as many snaps as Kelce wants to play? That's gonna be an interesting thing. And how does Kelce take that? Is he just gonna be sitting there on the sideline, just ready to go,
Player, yeah.
ready to go? And as soon as he gets in, he's gonna go mad, which would be the best for him if he plays 10% less snaps this year as opposed to last. Same with Chris Jones. Both of them, if they play 10% less snaps, I guarantee they'll have more stats. Like they need breathers. I mean, Chris Jones played more percentage of snaps last year than he has for the last 5 years. Not combined, of course, but
Right.
like
yeah.
they had him in at all times. And if he has breaks, he's going to be more explosive, more powerful. And the same goes for Kelce.
Well, think about how close all of those games were, and we really and they were defensive. A lot of them were defensive stops. Man, I mean, had he not been in there, Bolton can't get through the line and tackle the guy on the 4th and 1, and can't remember which game that was because Bolton had so many. Oh my God, did he have so many beautiful tackle on 4th down specifically? Yeah, he had to have 4 or 5 for the season. 4th down, just breaking through the line. And if Chris Jones isn't there and Tershawn Wharton isn't there, then that doesn't happen. Probably.
Well, I think Omar Norman Lott is going to turn heads a lot more than Tershawn Wharton. I mean, Tershawn Wharton was a project that we created over years of work.
Here's what I'm worried about though. Like Tershawn, I think what made Tershawn Wharton so good with this defensive line was he is the yin to Chris Jones Yang. He is not the big flashy guy. He's not the guy that's trying, of course he's trying to get to the quarterback, but he's not, that's not his shtick. That's not his game. He is the support guy. He's the concrete. He's the base of the defensive line. And he liked to play that role. And because he did what he did, then Chris Jones could do what he did. And Karlaftis could do what he did, and many of you can kind of throw some down every once in a while too. But Wharton was really the workhorse of the defensive line. Now, can Omar?
Year, yeah.
Yes, can Omar Norman Lott come in and be that guy at the next level? Add that much more dynamics to the defensive line. That'd be amazing.
Well, we're going to have to see if he can eat 12 eggs and if he can save children like a superhero.
Oh, my. Going back to this. Oh, my God.
Hey,
Let
man.
it go.
Man. It'll never die.
It will never die. He's going to retire, and you're still going to talk about it.
What do the Goonies say?
Goonies never die.
Goonies never say die.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Goonies never say die. I said Goonies never die. I've watched that movie a lot.
HC Chiefs fan. Was that
at
the
the Falcons game.
You're talking about?
Yep.
Nice. Well, so okay. I've got more to talk about, the standouts and stuff, but since HD Chiefs fan is here and he is a season ticket holder, I kind of want to pivot really quick. Let's just jump to let's pause the standouts in camp and stuff, and let's pivot real quick to the new stadium stuff.
Okay.
So Missouri passed a $1.5 billion stadium funding project to both keep the Royals and the Chiefs in Missouri, right? So
That doesn't necessarily mean to keep them in their current location, just to keep them in the state of Missouri.
yeah, which scares me because is 1.5 billion enough? Because this is what the Royals wanted.
Mm-hmm.
They
Downtown.
they like look at this. How cool is this? But this was going to cost $2 billion to put this right here. Look at that. There's the T-Mobile Center. There's Two Light. This is where the KC Star building used to be. Like, this would make downtown Kansas City awesome. And I know it's what the mayor and the city council want, but I don't know that this money is enough to
that's just
satisfy both the Chiefs and the Royals.
it's not going to be 100% of what they need, though. That's just extra on top. I mean, they're going to have investors. They're going to have
They're gonna have bonds. Missouri's also doing bonds as well as Kansas. But there's a lot going into this. The Cardinals, the St. Louis Cardinals, also want more funding for their stadium. I mean, Missouri's kind of like got a lot on their plate here.
well, is this something that Missouri can say, thanks for the 1.5 billion, and I understand it's for the Chiefs and the Royals, but we're just going to give it all to the Chiefs, and the Royals can hopefully stick up and stay in Missouri, but they're not getting any of this money? Or does it have to go? Is there a certain percentage? Is it 50-50? Is it 30-70? Or is it?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay.
And so
Yeah, it's a brand new.
Chiefs. So I read a bunch of articles and my head was spinning after I read the articles. I'm not going to lie. I was just like, okay, I just read I read 6 different articles about this and was left confused.
With more questions you had before you started reading.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like one of them is going to have to go, but God, see, I don't think a Chiefs stadium in downtown would be near as good as a Royals stadium.
I don't know why. I completely agree, but I don't understand the logic behind it. But when I
because there's
envision
so many more games
at a
in
baseball,
baseball.
yeah,
And so there's so much more.
it would just be empty a lot of the time.
Yeah, and so you'd have to really schedule a lot of events. And even though Kansas City's grown a lot, and we can do a lot bigger conventions and stuff, we're still nothing like Indianapolis or Vegas or LA or any of these places that can really support huge things. That's why the Super Bowl, there'd be a lot of stuff that would have to change around the city too, just to host a Super Bowl. Like getting a dome, is just the first step.
Yeah.
And then there's a whole lot of infrastructure that has to change. But a baseball stadium downtown would be great for concerts. When I went and saw a concert at TwitchCon couple years back, and it was at the baseball stadium there. Great concert venue. And I mean, it would just be huge. And the Royals would stand to make a ton more money if they had a downtown location, because downtown has so many more people living there now. And think about it. You live downtown. You're like, well, I'll jump on the streetcar, run down, go see a game. No big deal. And so your attendance is gonna quadruple, if not 10 times, because right now it's like, oh, do I really want to drive out to Kauffman Stadium? Oh, I don't know. There's nothing to eat around there. I'm going to have to eat at the stadium. I don't want to really have a ballpark dog today. But if it's downtown, even me living in South, OP, right? Like I'm gonna be like, well, we could make a night out of it. We go out, have dinner, go to the ball game, or vice versa. Go out, drink it afterwards, take an Uber back home. Like that sounds like a fun night, and it's a variety of things rather than just a Royals game, which that's all you go to, and just a Chiefs game is worth it. There's only a finite amount of those
Yep,
every
there's only
year,
8.
right?
Yep.
So, yeah. So, HC Chiefs fan says something here.
Yeah, I said, I personally believe that the teams are moving. I happened to meet a lobbyist for Kansas, and he claimed the Chiefs are moving. 2 votes no said a lot to the Hunts. Yeah, I bet it did. I mean,
Well, and just hold on, I got it right here. Just last year, Jackson County, had a chance to get hold on, where's that? Like they voted down. Well, I can't find it now. Dang it. They
always when you're on
voted down. They voted down renovations, and you go back to thinking the biggest mistake was 15 years ago when they were going to put the rolling roof that would have rolled over to Kaufman and over to the Chiefs Stadium. I mean, that would have kept them here for another 40 years from then, right? Like, so, I mean, that
yeah, I remember that
would
talk.
have been huge.
Yeah, and they were talking about, what we're going to be talking about 15 to 20 years from now. Man, we should have put that rolling dome on, and that definitely we'd be having a way different conversation right now.
Well, and here's speaking of Kansas, if they move to Kansas, these are the mock-ups right here, of what the Chiefs stadium could be. Like this could be a huge area, huge tailgating area. I mean, the Chiefs going to Kansas could be huge, and the highways coming in. That's a huge 4-lane highways going in there. They could build, multiple entrances. I mean, it could be like streamlined, and then they could have a whole city built around it that would give you that nightlife before or after the games, also concerts, yada yada. I mean, but the problem is, Brian chimes in here, hideous, putting up this. We are one of the last stadiums, original stadiums, and we are so loud. Can they build another stadium that is as loud as Arrowhead? I mean, it's a historic icon. You know what I mean? Like, if the Royals move, they could build a city around there, but how are you going to get people to come out there? That's the problem. You can get people to come out to the Kansas side. Like, I mean, the racetrack area is already booming
I don't
every
know,
weekend.
man. I don't necessarily agree with you on that. If the Royals move and they're able to build like it like a downtown vibe-ish area right there, hotels, restaurants, those fun themed like axe throwing, all kinds of, a drinking district. I think this could be a huge thing, and that would just kind of be at the center of it all. But there's still stuff to do. There's only 2 games per month on average. But that gives you stuff to do for the rest of the time.
But would people come out? People would already be out at the Legends at Nebraska Furniture Mart. You have to remember, Nebraska Furniture Mart's a huge draw for that area too. Like, and the racetrack and the casino. Like, there's already people out there like, oh, we'll just go, 5 minutes down the road to the Chiefs town. Like that could definitely be a thing. Am I lagging?
Just a little bit.
Did you hear any of that?
Yeah, definitely. HD Chiefs fan brings up a really good point. He says, I can tell you that as a season ticket holder for nearly 25 years, I will no longer be one when they move. He didn't say if they move, he said when they move. We received a survey from the Chiefs showing the tickets increased by 60%. That is a big, big increase for one
Yeah.
season.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's huge, and it also, I mean, I'm pretty sure if you're in the county that it's at, you get a cheaper price too. So I think Jackson County, you get a cheaper price on season tickets. You could be wrong on that, but that's what I've always understood. But I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I think I've heard the same thing. I don't know how much of a price difference it is. It's not going to be 60% different.
Yeah. Well, but I just, there's so much that goes into this that's just scary, and I don't know what I want. So I don't know. I would love the chance to have like a roof, but I don't know if I want a dome. And if I have a dome, I definitely want real grass, which I think they would do. I think they'd do something like, I think it's the Cowboys Stadium, where the field actually moves out of the dome when they're not playing, and actually gets sun, and then the field moves back inside the dome. But I don't really want a dome. But also I don't want people freezing to death in the stands and losing fingers and toes. Also, I don't want people not able to drink beer.
I don't know, man. That's part of the
beer
experience.
freezing, coming out of the freezing immediately. That was not okay. It was not okay.
Witchy Hall said that increase will totally change the composition of the crowd. That is a great point.
That is so true.
It will
That
no
is
longer
so
be our
true.
Chiefs fans as we know it. Yeah, at that point, I don't
That
think
is
we'll,
so true. It'll
we'll ever
turn
hold the record for
into
the loudest crowd again.
it'll turn into Colts Stadium, where everybody's reading their book, and when something happens, they golf clap, and then they go back to reading their book. Like, you could literally see that in the Peyton Manning era. You could see that in the Indianapolis Dome. I mean, like, the people that come out when you don't have a dome are the people that really want to be there. And we'll lose that too. And I just don't want to lose Arrowhead. Like, if you've ever taken a tour, it's such a cool complex.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's awesome. So your perfect world then is that who really cares what happens to the Royals? A downtown stadium would be really awesome.
A downtown stadium would be awesome. Yes,
Right.
I would love
But
that.
at the end of the day, I really don't care what happens to the Royals. They're not winning World Series or even going to the playoffs most years. The Chiefs are making it to the AFC Championship every single year. This is what I care about. I want them to stay in the Kansas City area, but man, staying on that plot of land, even renovating that specific stadium, I think would be really cool. You're right. I mean, there's a lot of history there, but it needs to be updated.
I'm still going to be a fan if they go to the Kansas side, but I don't. That's like my second favorite idea. Okay. My first favorite idea is they keep Arrowhead the way it is, and they tear down Kaufman and build a little Chiefs City, and hope and put a movie theater there, like put a bunch of stuff there that'll get people there every weekend, regardless if there's games. And then they could get more concerts there. They could get more, happening there, right? And I'm down with a rolling roof so we can maybe get a Super Bowl, but I don't want that rolling roof to be used when it snows. Like it would be so worthless, like,
You
to
just
have
want
it
to
there,
have it
but
there. Yeah.
I have it there for the chance of possibly getting a Super Bowl at some point, but I don't want it used very often.
You
if
know
they
what?
have
During
a dome, that
raining
thing
games.
better have an open roof. That thing better have an open roof. And even if it snows, you keep that sucker open.
Yeah,
It
but
would
if it's
still-
raining, put it up there if it's raining.
Yeah.
I don't like watching muddy
Rain
games.
just sucks. Rain sucks. Yeah. Yeah. Snow's
But
awesome. Rain
I'm
sucks.
good with the snow. Absolutely, yeah. You know, and you say what else is going to bring the people there? It's not just going to be hotels and bars and stuff. There's going to be condos. There's going to be living quarters, and they're not going to be ghetto. They're going to be, designed for the young and fairly well-to-do people, kind of like Two Light and One Light downtown right now. There's a lot of people that have some money, and it'll be a great place to live.
They'd have to build quite a bit of infrastructure for that, but it could happen. But that would take a long time. I mean, the rejuvenation of Kansas City took a long time. I mean, when I was growing up, you didn't go to KC. Like, you went there for the haunted houses once a year, and then that was it. But yeah, I don't know. Like, the thing that I don't want to happen is them to stay here, tear down Arrowhead, or tear down Kaufman, build a new stadium at Kaufman, and tear down Arrowhead later, which I think might be in Clark's. Clark seems to really want a dome, and I think his dad would not approve. Clark's done a lot of good things for the Chiefs, so I can't talk smack, but I think he's wrong in this. Like, I love that the Bills, they built a new stadium and they said, F your Super Bowl, it's still open. We're still going to have fans come in, shovel snow every time it snows before the games. That's the way we do it. That's Bills football. You
got to respect that.
Yeah. And I mean, think about how we got to make Tyreek look stupid when he came in the playoffs for the cold weather game. That was hilarious. Like, I mean, it's something that makes us tough. It's something that makes us Midwesterners. It's.
I wouldn't do it. I would.
I like this one. I'm not keeping up with chat really well.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Oh, good point. Witchy Hall. Yeah, we could get a lot of good use out of the rolling roof with concerts. Perfect. I love the thought.
Problem solved.
Boom.
There we are.
Yeah.
Now it's not useless.
Yeah, concerts, that would be a perfect use for it. And then Super Bowl. And then, and then also, Final Four games, World Cup, like those types of things. But then for Chiefs football, you roll that sucker off.
So are they going to have, if they have different sports, then they're going to have different fields. They're going to have one of those, like, where the field, they can lower it down to a certain level and they can roll it to the side, and they can actually, they've got like grow lights and fans and ventilation systems down there where they can keep the grass growing and healthy while it's underground, and they bring out another field and put it up into place. Have you seen these things or heard about them?
Well, okay, so the Cowboys actually have their field actually rolls out of the stadium. That would be cool. Yeah, so we don't screw up the field. I don't know what they do for concerts right now. I went to see what's his name?
Neil Young and Crazy Horse?
No, I saw oh gosh, what's his name? Ed Sheeran last year at the Chiefs Chiefs Stadium. That was a badass concert. Oh my god!
I mean, I love live music, and I know that the guy has to. I couldn't.
Oh, he's got yeah. If you heard him, you'd be like, oh, this is him. Oh, this is him. Oh, this is him.
He's been on American Idol before, and I've watched. I've seen the guy perform. He's just oozes talent. I know he can sing.
He also was in Game of Thrones.
Not my thing. Yes, he was. He made a small cameo in Game of Thrones.
Yep.
But
and he also writes songs for a ton of different artists. Yeah, he's extremely talented.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never seen the movie Yesterday, you need to see that. It's hilarious. He's hilarious in it. You look like that Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran. Yeah, that's me. All right, mate. Whatever. If you've seen the movie, it's so funny. Yeah, I think they put down mats, and I was standing on mats. I wasn't standing on the field, and I wonder if those mats were raised somehow off of the.
Oh, it's
field.
probably they probably have different platforms down there. It's not just 1, 2 that they do. I mean,
But yeah, if they could build a whole floor that comes out over the top, oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, they definitely can, and then store it down under there when they're using something else.
All right, Witchy Hall says we have that kind of technology, so let's take it. Well, I don't know.
Brian, it's not called sandstone anymore. It has not been sandstone for many years, although I refuse to call it anything other than sandstone.
It is sandstone. I mean,
you tell me what it's called right now. I'm not going to know what you're talking about. You say sandstone, I know exactly where it is.
I'll call it that place next to the Renaissance Festival.
It is the Renaissance Festival.
Well, I mean, the Renaissance Festival is right next to it. Did you know we have one of the biggest Renaissance festivals in the nation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know why they don't shoot more medieval movies there. Be a great place to shoot them. I'm sure they have, and maybe I just don't know. Municipal Auditorium. Now that's still called Municipal Auditorium.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Right next to Bartle Hall.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll always be sandstone, just like it'll always be Arrowhead. Yeah, there's no Geha Field.
It's Geha.
Geha Field. Yeah. Even though we don't have war paint anymore, we're still going, yeah.
Renfest is in the parking lot? I could have swore it was all up in there.
No. If you're in the parking lot for sandstone, you just walk straight right instead of walking straight to sandstone. That's the back parking lot, the bigger one, and you run right into the Renfest.
Wait, used to be Kemper?
No, Kemper
Municipal
Arena
used to be Kemper. Is that what he's saying? It wasn't sandstone, wasn't Kemper?
No, Kemper was the big white, weird looking hall. It was where I saw Owen Hart die. It was a sad day.
You were there?
Yeah, me and Brandon. Yep.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, they didn't tell us
they
either.
Thought it was a stunt. Yeah, they made it look like a stunt.
Yeah, Brandon was like, well, this is weird because there's usually not that many people when the fake cops come in. And it was literally
Real
50
cops?
people in the ring, and they were just panning the audience. And we didn't know that he had died until we left that night. Yeah, that was crazy. That was the first wrestling thing I'd ever went and seen. I just went with Brandon because he didn't have anybody to go with him.
Yeah, I've never understood his love of wrestling. I loved it until I was about 15.
Is Kemper still there? I don't think it's. Is it still there?
AC/DC in Memorial
Hall. Now I've been to Memorial Hall. Yeah, I saw my first concert. It was Green Day. I saw my first concert at Memorial Hall. Green Day during when the Dookie album came out. Oh my gosh, we need to talk Chiefs. We're talking KC history here. The Comets played it at Kemper. Yeah, that's the first time I got lost. I was in the Lost and Found. I was chasing the Santa throwing the orange balls back, and I chased him too far, and my mom slipped, and I was like, Mom? Okay, this is going down way too down memory lane. All right. Well, so what's your best case, and we'll move on from stadium here. We've been talking about it forever, but it is a big thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody. I don't think that there's a perfect scenario at this point. Ticket prices are going up. We've been kind of touching on that. HD Chiefs fan and Witchy Hall made some really great points about, ticket prices are going to change. The fan that shows up to the game. I don't think it's going to change a lot of a lot of our opinions as Chiefs fans that don't go to a lot of Chiefs games. But I mean, I think you'll definitely see a change in the stands.
And Witchy Hall says, "Oh my God, you make me feel so old. My first concert was Kiss in '77. Lol.
I was 2 years old.
Do not feel bad at all.
Yeah.
I would kill to have experienced that. So yeah, don't be happy that you got to see that, because concerts are not the same as they used to be, man. Like, even from when I was young. So
My first concert was in 1988, and it was Chicago.
Chicago.
It was at Sandstone. It was the band Chicago.
I should. Okay, this is gonna really kill my street cred.
Yeah, I know it is. I know it is.
Okay, Green Day was my first concert that I went to without my parents. The first concert I ever went to,
can I guess?
was in 5th grade.
Can I guess?
And I took like my mom was so kind. She took 6 of my friends, and we all went. Yeah, what? I'm sure you have it.
NSYNC?
No.
New
When
Kids
I
on the
was in
Block?
5th grade.
New Kids on the Block?
Oh. The right stuff. He's got the right stuff.
Oh my God.
Hanging tough. Dude, it was all the kids in my class loved it, and dude, it made me so popular. My mom took all the kids. Oh my God. And that was at Kemper. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I should not have said that. I should not have put that on the internet, but hey, the truth's the truth, man. What's the best concert you've ever been to?
Oh, Tenacious D, hands down. Best
Tenacious D. Oh man, I would have loved to have seen them.
It wasn't just like, I mean, they're musically so gifted. But here's the thing that you almost never get at a show, right? These guys have played these songs, their big hits, over and over and over every single week, the same things every month, every year, every tour, the same things. And so they change it up, make it interesting, right? Tenacious D, Jack Black, and Kyle Gass, they understand that what the people want to hear is what they know. And so they played every single song, note for note, tone for tone, beat for beat. They didn't change a single thing. The entire crowd knew every word to every song. We were all singing it. It was amazing. It was by far the most fun I've ever had, and they were so interactive with the crowd. You could tell that they were, I mean, giving it 110%. It was so good. And I've seen,
Nice.
311's my favorite band. I've seen them, 50 times.
I've seen them quite a few times too, but we need to clear something up for my brother in chat, Matthew Shiz. Now, Matt, we thought the same thing as you for a while.
Yeah.
Brian Parrott is not Ben Parrott, your best friend growing up. Brian Parrott is a completely different guy.
No relation.
No relation whatsoever. We have met him, and he was the one that won the Tamba Ali picture. Yeah, so it's not Ben. Ben's in chat every once in a while, but yeah, it's not Ben. Okay,
I thought so till about a month and a half ago. That's what I still thought.
The best concert that I've ever been to was, now I've seen him many times, okay? And don't make fun of me, don't call me a hick, but it's definitely Garth Brooks. I saw him twice when I was in high school, and that was the best. Then I saw him 2 other times afterwards. The first time I saw him, he did 6 or 7 back-to-back concerts in Kansas City. He did as many as it took until tickets stopped selling. So I think it was 7 nights. And I was on like the 3rd night, and then I saw like the 5th night also. Okay. And that dude puts on a show like you wouldn't believe. Oh my God. It was amazing.
If you know me, if anybody knows me, country is the last thing I'll ever listen to. It just isn't my thing. But there was like a 3 to 6 month period, somewhere in like 97, 98, 99 area, where I chose to listen to Garth Brooks, No Fences, specifically that album, for that period, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it, and it still has some memorabilia, some nostalgia is the word I'm looking for. It still holds a little nostalgia for me, but
You know, a dream is like a river,
it's not.
ever changing
I'll
as it flows.
I will never just go back and listen to Garth Brooks, but if it's on,
Oh
it's on,
man. Well, he is one hell of a performer, and man, I'm telling you, that was the best concert that I've ever
Okay,
seen.
see, this is more down my road right here. So Aerosmith, Witchy Hall has seen Aerosmith 2 times, Ozzy 2 times.
Oh
Man,
wow,
that was
Pantera. Ooh,
freaking
that would be
amazing.
cool.
Yeah, Kiss twice, White Zombie twice, which is amazing, and Pantera, man. I love Phil Anselmo. That guy was intense.
We're gonna get so many comments that are like, "Is this a Chiefs podcast?"
Yeah. Oh,
Oh.
shit, we're supposed to be talking about the Chiefs.
Oh man, yeah. Well, man. All right. Well, let's get back to form, and yeah, let's is there anything I missed in chat here? Oh, little sister. Or wait, little sister? Oh, I thought she was talking about Twisted Sister. That would have been a cool one
I
to see
love
too.
Twisted Sister too. Yeah.
Yep.
We're not going to take it. No,
We're not gonna
we're
take
not going
it.
to take it.
No, we ain't
We're
gonna
not
take
going to take it anymore.
We're not gonna take it anymore. All right. I could talk about, I mean, we should do a little like side podcast. When we could do members only podcast, we'll do a music one. Love it. Like, I love everything. I mean, from rap to rock to, I mean, all over the place, even a little bit of classical.
I'm
All
down
right,
with the classical.
Let's, yeah. So, yeah. Did you ever give me your answer about what your best case scenario is?
Yes.
All right. What was your worst case? Because my worst case is they stay in the same spot but tear it down.
I mean, the worst case, man. There's look. Is there a future potential that neither team stays in the Kansas City area? I think that
Oh God, no!
I think there is a possibility.
Don't even put that out there.
Look, man, you said worst
That's what
case.
you always say to me.
I don't think that there's any chance with the Chiefs and their success, and with what we're in the middle of right now. There's no chance they make it out of the Kansas City metro area. But I can see a future without the Kansas City Royals. I could definitely see that happening. If somebody wants to build them a stadium in a city that doesn't have a pro football team, where they would be the major attraction, the major professional sports team attraction in the city, I could see that happening. I don't think it will. I think that's absolute worst case scenario. But I mean, that's worst case scenario, losing one of the teams.
Well, let's hope my father-in-law and Mayor Lucas get that downtown stadium done, so the Royals can at least stay. And let's keep the Chiefs.
I don't think that the Royals want to leave. I think that there would have to be an amazing offer on the table. I'm not saying that's something that's even rumored to be happening, but it is something that has been talked about. We talked yesterday, you listen to a lot of Chiefs podcasts. I listen to a lot of local talk radio.
Yep.
And they
Keeps
have
us
talked
diversified.
It does, yeah. And so I get a lot more information on the Royals than you do, because they're talking a lot about the Royals.
And you're a big Royals fan, whereas I'm like,
I
like the Royals. My mom loves the Royals, but I'm into football. Like, that's what I love. I love the strategy of football. I don't really understand the strategy of baseball at a high level.
It's changing drastically. I mean, they're trying very hard to keep the fan base that they have, and even try and grow it with some of the younger generations. I mean, they've done a lot of things. I think you'd be surprised to hear. But
if they put it downtown, I'm gonna go to a lot more games and possibly get into it.
But there has definitely been a conversation on the table where the Royals could potentially find themselves in a different city. It's been a conversation.
Also, if the Royals take over the Sprint Center, I mean, that's just right down the street from my house. I could definitely get into more Royals games if that's a thing too.
So the Royals ownership group purchased that area, but that's really the only thing that's happened to this point. I mean, like you were talking about earlier, the infrastructure would have to change so much. I think it's more just honestly, I think that is really more about them making some money. They saw an opportunity to invest a little and get a lot out in that area. I think there's a lot of potential there. But man, I think putting the Royals there, I don't think that's the answer at the end of the day. Could it happen? Sure.
It's a lot of land. I don't think putting the Chiefs there is a good idea, but
No, I don't think the Chiefs would go there.
but
Yeah,
putting
the
the
Chiefs would
Royals
have to
there,
be in a
there's
much bigger footprint.
there's a lot of population there, right there around the Sprint Center, and a lot of hotels. So, I mean, yeah, it's right by where we stayed this last weekend, the Overland Park Convention Center. I mean, it's just a lot there. So,
Hey, Brian, I got a question for you. You said a lot of really good local bands in the 80s and 90s. Now it's all turned into teen angst. I think it's always been teen angst. It's just the teen angst that we experienced when we were in that era.
it was
Do
a
you
lot more hardcore.
do you expect to hear like old
Now-
man angst now? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't
times
say
are
this.
tough and my back is killing me. My knees about to give out.
Times are easy for kids these days. I mean, so I mean, their angst is a lot less hardcore than ours. I mean, when I was growing up, I mean, literally, I don't even know how I survived. I mean, I remember they were building something at my house. Oh, am I breaking up again?
Nope.
Well, they were building an island at like right down the street from my house. They dumped about 10 feet of rock there. One of the dads put a big old piece of plywood down, and me at 12 was jumping it on my bike.
Oh,
like
yeah.
getting like 10 feet of air
Oh, yeah.
with no helmet, no pads, nothing. And, if we skidded, we just rubbed some dirt on it. I mean, I did break my wrist on my bike, but you know what? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But now kids, you'll see them with full helmet, pads, everything. I mean,
And when
we're not as tough
7
as we
years
used
old,
to be.
we lived in Shortsville, New York, and they had just paved they had just paved a brand new curb, and it was like 12 inches tall. And the kids, I wasn't part of it, but I definitely got some pleasure out of it. Some kids up the street went up there with a sledgehammer and knocked a big chunk out of it and formed a ramp. And we would get, I mean, not 10 feet of air, but I mean, we would fly like 10 feet, from the ramp over. But they tried a couple of times to come and patch it, but the kids would always take it out. It's a small town, man.
All right. Well, we need to get back into Chiefs.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, I mean, I had a good time talking about it. I don't know if the people watching had a good time talking, or I don't even know if people are going to stay around. Maybe I should put like timestamps in this after it's
They're
all
still
done.
talking about music. We were talking about music earlier. So.
Oh man. All right. Let's okay, so I got one more clip. So we on this pod, you can go back, listen to us. We were huge on Jaden Hicks in training camp. Huge on him at the start of the season. Huge on him through the entirety. Okay. We were right. He had the most picks out of any player on the team last year and played, 33% of the snaps. He had 3 picks. He was our biggest ball hawk. He learned from Justin Reed. He's taken over for Justin Reed this year, and I want to play what he had to say. And I'm going to play it, and then we'll talk about it. Oh, and also, all of these clips are thanks to Matt Derrick at Chiefs Digest. So definitely check out chiefsdigest.com. He's a great source. I mean, he's awesome.
I'm a lot more comfortable this year. There's obviously still room to grow, still room to learn. But I think Jay Reed was a great help. Helped me get everything under myself, and just keep stacking the days, keep getting better each day. And I think that's the most important thing for this year. Yeah, I mean, so obviously I'm kind of playing the role that he's playing this year. So he really did a great job taking me under his wing. Just being savvy, know how to disguise the defense a lot, and that's a big part of our scheme and just getting the disguises. So he did a really good job with that, and just setting a good example, for what I should look up to. Yeah, most definitely. I think we all got a voice in this room, and we know we're all leaders out there. But at the end of the day, I got to step up, be a voice out there, and just lead the defense.
All right. So, what I loved about this and hated is how amazing
Justin Reed.
Justin Reed was, man. I mean,
That was going to be my first comment too. Is Justin Reed?
he knew that this kid, he saw it in training camp, knew that this kid was probably going to take his job, and he still trained him. And I mean, I just miss Justin Reed so much, man, and wish we could have just kept him. And
You know what so what I was going to say was, and this is completely coincidental, but it was 2 days ago. I was driving in my truck, listening to the radio, and there was a paid commercial for Justin Reed's foundation, whatever the foundation that he has, all these guys do it. But once they leave the city, they usually focus on the city that they're in, right? And he's left his footprint here in Kansas City, and I think that says a lot, not just about Justin Reed himself, but the city of Kansas City and what it means to him and a lot of these players. I mean, a lot of players end up, after they retire, staying here. We've done some work for some former NFL players and some former Major League Baseball players that never played for the Royals.
yeah,
These guys love this area.
Indeed, is the thing. I mean, he's the guy that met me at the golf course and actually, actually kept the conversation going when I just was trying to say hi, and he kept the conversation going. He's a true, all the guys that all chiefed up talked about how, he would DM them back on X, and how he was just a great guy. That's small things, but the fact that he took him under his wing and helped him take over his spot is just amazing. Because Reed got to go home. He did get to go home being on the Saints, but he has way less chance at greatness, there than he has here,
He does. And Hicks didn't. It kind of tells me a lot about Hicks too. He seems like a humble guy. He's willing to give credit to the guy who helped him along when he didn't have to. We learned that from Tamba. A lot of these guys aren't willing to train their replacements, and you can't blame
a
them
lot
for
of
that,
them.
Yeah, you can't blame him for that. I mean, he's going to be competing for his job against you, and then potentially trying to find another team that needs to fill that position.
And I'll say you can't blame him for that, but I think karma goes a long way. And I mean, it seems like the Chiefs, like literally, if you look from the top down, I mean, even Chris Jones has showed up to a ton of OTAs trading Omar Norman Lott. Like, he's like, from the top down, the Chiefs have built a roster of people that are like that, people that are,
they search that out when they're
just-
looking to
yeah.
draft, when they're looking to pick up free agents, when they're looking to sign big deals. That's what they're looking for, is those kinds of guys. Not specifically because they're thinking, okay, well, this guy's going to have to someday train his replacement, but But what that guy brings to the team the entire time that he's playing for the team, he's bringing a team mentality. Is every little thing that I do that I can do to help this next guy helps the entire team and the entire experience. That's the only way that the Chiefs are making it to the AFC Championship every single year, is because they've got it's
a family.
It's a selfless mentality. It's a team first mentality. There's a lot of cockiness out there, but at the end of the day, it's all about winning. It's all about teammates, and it's all about improving and showing up on the field and getting that W. That's another big thing. Is there's a lot of missed stats out there. Mahomes could throw for 400 a game, a lot more often than he does. But at the end of the day, 400 a game doesn't mean anything if you're not winning when it counts. If you're throwing for 400 a game, these defenses will adjust and will be able to stop that. You have to change, you have to morph, you have to grow, you have to adapt. All of those things have to happen. And Mahomes and Andy Reid, they start that attitude, that mindset, and they carry it through their team with who they pick up. It's such a great time to be a Chiefs man.
It really is.
We're so lucky.
It really is, because
and it's not lost on me. We've been Chiefs fans for a long time, way before this ever happened. This is not lost. I'm stopping to smell the roses here.
Living the dream, dude, is what we're doing.
Absolutely enjoying every second of it, because it could all be gone.
Well, and here, you should read this next comment and definitely promote a recent video of ours.
Yeah, Justin Reed said that just like Tyrann Mathieu before him, kind of like Eric Berry before him, we've had some great safeties. We have had some great safeties. And we did just do a video about Mr. Eric Berry. I mean, Chiefs legend Eric Berry. And we talked about that a little bit too after we were done. Watching some of his highlights, it's like I remember watching the game specifically on a few of those plays, those highlights that we played during that, and the thumbnail for that is absolutely awesome too, by the way. But just like the way that he played the game, the way that he battled through cancer, the way that he conducted himself the entire time. I mean, he's a leader on and off the field, but his play when he was on the field, if he was playing for Spags right now, oh my God.
Can you imagine?
Crazy.
Yeah, just
crazy.
I mean, Eric Berry was, I'm hoping Hicks turns into that. I mean, Eric Berry was a ball hawk, a ball hawk returner, a freaking line of scrimmage stopper, tackles for a loss. But I do have to correct you on one thing. You said Justin Reed said, but it was Witchy Hall that said it.
Oh, my bad, Witchy.
But it was a great, it was a great pitch. But besides that, but also, I didn't hear about this, but Frank Clark knew Carl Loftus was his replacement, still mentored him. Another example of just what Andy Reid's built here.
I think Frank Clark, man, he was viewed as a tough guy with a real rough edge, but I think deep down he was, I mean, he's training his replacement. He's a guy with heart and fit right in with this team. And I miss Frank Clark. I do. I miss that guy. I'm sure he wouldn't be nearly as good today as he was a few years ago when he was playing with us, but I miss that guy.
Of warfare. Yes, he did, and he was strong. It's just like me when I kill a spider for my wife. We're both deathly scared of him, but I have to do. Actually, today I was called home to kill 2 hornets in my house. Yeah, my wife, dog,
hornet, man. That is not a fun
my
one.
wife and dog were hiding out, and I had to come in and fight 2 hornets at once. I was triumphant, but I was literally shaking. It's I don't like bugs, man. I can deal with snakes, lizards. I don't like bugs. And spiders, hornets, wasps.
Snakes are the
It
worst.
might have been. They might have. It looked like a wasp, but their tails were yellow.
Why are we talking
that-
about this again?
right.
We got off the subject again.
I was just talking about fear of war paint.
Mhm.
But
Then we started talking about fears. Did you see the last episode of Survivor, man? No one played.
and without fail, Brian
Squirrel!
Parrott lets his hate of Andy Heck show.
All the other pieces can move around. Andy Heck should move around, and Sky should move around to another team or city, whatever. I don't care. Just off the Chiefs.
Yep. Snead was a ball magnet. I think Noel Williams has the opportunity to become like a Snead type of player. The weirdest thing is, though, is all the coaches are saying that he's swimming right now, which means he's not getting the playbook as fast as possible. But he's had the most picks in OTAs and mandatory.
Did you say
minicamp.
swimming? He's swimming right now?
Yeah, that's what the coaches. That's the term that they use. He's swimming, like it's
I've
like
heard it.
he's not getting the playbook. He's not in the right place at the right time a lot of times, but he's had the most picks in, like, I'm pretty sure out of anybody. Another thing that's a headline is, I guess Pacheco beat McDuffie on a long route, and guys, McDuffie, along with the other corners, have been wearing mitts, and they're not allowed to have contact. All of our corners are contact-heavy corners. Like, don't make a big deal out of McDuffie. Not like McDuffie has basically pulled back every time. Like, so. Pacheco getting a big run. Brashard Smith had a big catch. What is this?
Brian said Bob is on enough antihistamines to distract a cat. I don't know what it means. That's just really funny.
No, I'm actually I haven't taken any medication for the vid since it's been almost 48 hours now.
And HT fan said the only thing that gets
but I
Bob
was
off the
pretty
golf course is Mel needing bugs killed. That's about the truth, man.
It literally is. I literally had to leave and come to kill bugs. And then
I could call him and be like, Bob, Buck and Bob emergency right now. And he'd be like, I just started the back nine, man. It's gonna be a couple hours.
Amen. But when the wife calls, you have to come. But yeah, so other notable standouts. So you can't like I was saying, you can't really take much from this, but supposedly Brashard Smith was looking really good early on. Mm-hmm. He caught like some really good sideline passes, took him to the house. Pacheco's caught a couple, but you still have to take all of this with a grain of salt, and then like there's really no news about the linebackers. Like we really don't know anything until the pads come on.
Yeah, and even in preseason games, we're really not going to know anything there. We're going to see vanilla stuff. We're going to see it really is just a practice. It's just Andy Reid doesn't care about preseason football. He just doesn't. He doesn't use it to play a game of football. It's literally meant for sizing guys up, which is really boring and shitty for Chiefs fans to have to endure. But they go to the AFC Championship every game or every year, so like I'll take the trade. I'll have a crappy preseason. I don't think we've won. We've had more wins than losses in a preseason. I guess I'd have to look that up, but I feel like every year we've got more losses than wins in the preseason. Don't you feel like that?
I feel like we almost always lose more than we win.
Yeah, almost
the
always.
Entire time that Andy Reid's been here. I mean, it's I mean, we saw when a game doesn't matter, we saw how Andy Reid reacts. I mean,
Oh yeah,
look back at the Broncos game
the
last year.
Broncos.
I
They won't
still,
even talk about it when the talking heads on these sports talk shows are talking about the Chiefs last season. They don't even talk about that loss. They were 15-1. Like that's what they
Yeah.
say. Like
I mean, that's the truth.
it is. Yeah. If
So,
Andy Reid wanted any piece of that game, I'm not saying it would have been an easy win because it's the NFL. There's no such thing as an easy win unless you're the Eagles playing the Chiefs last Super Bowl. But man, I'm
So-
sorry. I didn't mean to go there, guys.
there's been, yeah, dude, but still,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
still hurts. It still hurts. But so, okay, so other things. It was interesting. Right before we started, I was watching all Chiefed Up podcast and like they were talking about running backs. Here, do you want to answer this first before I bring this up?
Yeah, well, HD Chiefs fan said, "What happened to your voicemail number? I have to have a phone number that accepts text to transfer the Bears tickets to you."
It is. Do you remember the number?
816-866-1066.
That's it.
Yeah.
816-866-1066.
But it does accept text messages, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, hopefully that works.
Yep. But
If
we just
not, is
haven't
there a
done
way
it
to
in a
do it
while
with email?
because people people weren't if you email me HD Chiefs fan, I will give you my actual cell number if that's what you want. But email us at buckandbob@gmail.com and tell me something only you would know. I'm thinking like tell me a story you've told us.
Oh, I know what story he should tell.
Yep. I know you're thinking the
Sorry,
same thing.
Yeah. You don't got to
all
tell the
right,
whole
so-
story. Just touch on it.
So all right. Oh, what was I wanting to bring up?
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt there, buddy.
No, I was bringing shoot. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking here. Chat, help! I was setting it up. It's about linebacker. No. Star Smith. No. Performance. Backup quarterback. Oh my gosh. No, I really needed to bring this up before the end.
It's gonna come.
We're talking
to you
about
as soon as
Andy
we-
didn't care about the games.
Yeah, they were 15-1. You said,
Oh shoot!
yeah, you said it's clear that when Andy doesn't care about a game, what what we saw in Denver or with Denver.
I'm blanking.
Sorry, sorry that I stole your thunder, Bob.
man. I don't even know what it was. All
I
right,
know, but
well-
I had to. Yeah,
All right. Well, you
interject.
bring something up while I try to. Oh yeah. Okay. So I was watching all Chiefed Up. They were having a heated argument right before I had to leave. I can't wait to check out the rest of it tomorrow. They're having a heated argument about will Andy take 5 running backs, and they were like, Mike was like really heavy on Steele, making it and kept saying he's a fullback. And then Steve was like, no one uses a fullback. They were getting real heated, right? And it's an interesting thought. So we only took Steele as a fullback last year and then only took 2 running backs in Edwards-Helaire and Pacheco last year in the first 53-man roster. P. Ryan wasn't,
yeah. P.
P.
Ryan
Ryan
wasn't there yet.
there yet. And so I think it's interesting this year. I think it is possible we take 5 running backs. And by running backs, I mean fullbacks too.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like
yeah.
I think it's very possible just because
Possible, but no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I realized I tried to interrupt you there.
no, no,
Chaz.
no, go, go,
I
go,
just
go.
I just think, yeah, I if there was a star running back, we might see 5, but I mean, I know that we've talked about Brashard Smith's potential. You think that he could be something very substantial for this offense. I I'm not saying he won't be, but he's 7th round, and I still think that Isaiah Pacheco is a really good running back, and that's the very ceiling of what you're going to get from a 7th round pick. So in my mind, Pacheco is the best that we can hope to get out of Brashard Smith. That kind of stat line. That's in my head. I'm not saying you're wrong, and I'm not going to argue that I'm right on this. It's just that's where my head goes because it's a 7th round pick.
You seem to have forgotten what I've said about Brashard Smith.
That he looks like Westbrook. Is that
Yeah.
what you're talking about? Yes.
Well, that's one thing. But I've also said I could see Brashard Smith having more receiving yards than rushing yards this year. So what I'm saying is that it's possible they knock out a receiver because Brashard Smith could be considered that final receiver and not really a running back. And then on the side of Steele,
yeah.
okay. Go.
I was just
No,
going to
yeah,
say, I
go,
mean,
and then I'll talk about Steele.
yeah, if we're talking about being that final receiver, are we talking about, Sky Moore making the team or not making the team and then taking Brashard Smith as the 5th running back to replace that last receiver? Are we talking about somebody like Remigio that I believe
I don't
really
think Sky
deserves?
Moore has a chance in hell of making the team.
Okay.
I think
So,
Sky Moore, if he was smart, would be going to a different training camp and not the Chiefs training camp.
okay.
But
So are you just kind of talking as far as the low man on the totem pole in the wide receiver, just in general, or is there actually a guy that is that guy, the wide receiver, the bottom wide receiver right now? I
I'm
haven't
just
been able
saying,
to.
I'm just saying it's possible we take one
5.
less receiver than last year. I think we took 7 last year. I think it's possible we take 6 and take an extra running back who's actually being more considered as a receiver.
Well, if
And then
we're
I
comparing
also,
to last year, though, you're talking about taking 5 over 3, so it'd be extra. We'd have to find another spot from a different position.
well, and that's where I'm going with Steele.
Sorry.
So Steele has been working a lot with the tight end groups. So if Steele could actually make a case that he could be a backup tight end too, then that's a case where we could actually have 5 quote unquote running backs, but really 2 of them are doing completely different jobs. And Steele did a good job on special teams.
Yeah, he
So
really did. He was
like
really good on special teams.
so I just thought that was interesting because Brashard Smith, I think, could be considered a wide receiver, which is kind of like what we did. I mean, when we drafted Tyreek Hill, we drafted him as a running back. He started out the first year as a running back. And I remember it was, I think, the second year, it was awesome because in fantasy, he was marked as a running back and a wide receiver. So you could like really use him as a tweeter in your fantasy football. So I think that's a real big possibility because those guys might be able to play different spots. And yeah, I don't know.
Andy Reid does like to play around and get maximize the potential of his team, and you make some really
Knowing
good
different
points. Yeah,
positions. You know what I mean?
yeah, absolutely.
So that's the only reason I could see the 5 is because possibly they knock out a tight end and they knock out a wide receiver. And then they just have these running backs that are just very, versatile. Because Burchard Smith played the majority of his college time as a wideout. He was only a running back in the last year.
Was he predominantly a return guy?
No, he was
was
a wide
also a wide
receiver.
receiver.
Like he was a wide receiver for Miami. He just didn't get a lot of play time.
Yeah.
And then he moved over to running back and he just killed it. I mean, he absolutely killed it, but it was definitely smaller conference, So, but I mean, still, but he was a running back in, high school all through that time. So he's a real versatile player that could end up being he could end up being the next Brian Westbrook, and he might be the steal of the draft, honestly.
If he's 75% of what Brian Westbrook was, I will be a huge fan of that man for
Same.
many years.
Same.
But that's a bold prediction there, Bob. That is that is a take.
Mark it down. Mark it
bold
down.
take. Oh, we don't got to mark it down. You're definitely going to be talking about it. I said it. I said it here. You can remember.
Yep. I mean, you keep locking up on me. I don't know if it's my connection or yours, but it's hopefully the people at home, since we both send in, hopefully it's good for them. But
yeah. Or if it's
I keep having weird things happen.
If it's like if one of us is freezing up for everybody else, it's probably that guy.
Yeah, I apologize, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, it doesn't run through my whole connection now, so that's at least a good thing.
Yeah.
But do you have anything else that you wanted to talk about? Because I think I hit on most of the stuff. Elijah Badger, they say, has looked like a beast, but we'll see if he stays healthy.
No. Do we think Mahomes is going to make the 53? Because as long as Mahomes is on this team, I'm thinking we got a fighting chance.
Justin Ross, everybody keeps on that. Everybody's really high on Jake Briddingstool, but I mean that's one that I don't know, man. Like he's an undrafted free agent, tight end. I mean, he's got.
We're gonna have to see. Yeah, we'll have to see something with the pads on when they're. You'll get to see a lot of that in the training camp. Hopefully.
Yeah.
You should go in there with a list. Every single. I mean, of course, you're going to want to take notes on everybody, but that's just going to be too much. So if you go into each specific day with a list of, say, 5 guys and really pay attention to those 5 guys and see if you can do that, or 3 guys if that's too much. I don't know.
What do you think what do you think Hollywood Brown's going to do? Because there's a lot of people in the national media that are just they're just basically saying the Chiefs had the same roster, but
you mean the same roster as last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they're saying that we have the same wide receiving core as last year, but we don't.
No, we never had all these guys healthy at the same time. But we also
have Rashee Rice and Hollywood Brown, which is what we didn't have last year.
We definitely had a glaring hole in our offensive line that we are really all hoping is patched up. And if he's got just a little bit of time and a little bit of faith in that left side, with this receiving core all healthy, it's the same team that was on paper last year, but we'll never see. We never saw last year what we're going to see, hopefully, on a weekly basis this year.
Here's something good to talk about.
Yeah, so Witchy says, well, we do have an actual backup for Pat this year. We had a backup. I mean, Carson Wentz isn't
I think
crap, but I'm
Carson
excited.
Wentz got a bad rap because they put him in with they put him in with a bad game plan, and it was musical chairs for the offensive line during that Broncos game. I felt bad for Carson Wentz, but I will say I'm more excited about Gardner.
I am too.
Just being there to push Mahomes to chuck that pigskin down the field. He'd be like, bro, I think you could have went deep to so-and-so.
He's a gunslinger, and his personality, he's just like one of the guys. He's got the long hair. He kind of reminds me of Fitzpatrick. Is that his name? Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzpatrick. When he did the gold chains and all that craziness. I love that attitude.
Big old stash.
He knows he's coming in to he's not going to be a starter for this team unless something happens to Pat. So he knows that going into it. So he can just kind of lean into, being the guy that is he's going to entertain everybody. He's going to be fun to watch. The cameras are going to be on him a lot. I can't wait to see some of his celebrations on the sidelines. Yeah, I think Gardner's an awesome backup. Well, hopefully he doesn't have to play.
I love that he wanted to go cattle farm. He wanted to go cattle rustling. He was like, I get to go today. I'm going today. He was so excited about it.
HT Chiefs fan said Gardner really needs to embrace the Uncle Rico role and pull up to the Arrowhead in a 70s custom van. I couldn't agree more. Yep, that's awesome. With like a wizard mural painted on the side. Uh-huh.
Yep.
Maybe you get a smoke machine and have smoke billowing out the windows.
It's so much. One thing I've heard a lot about is Mike Edwards. Like, I'm pretty sure Hicks is going to start. Who's the other safety? Is it going to be Cook? Is he going to get cooked again? Is he back to the Cook that was before the injury? Is Mike Edwards going to jump in that role?
Man, the backfield is just always so fluid with the Spags defense. So a starter is only a starter for the first play of the game, really. And then it just starts moving around. So I'm not really worried about somebody's going to fill in and do a decent job. Somebody's going to stand out.
I'm just so excited about what's up, Cam Rogers. Welcome to the chat. Cam works with me at the golf course.
Oh, the golf course?
Cam understands needing to play the back nine.
I feel like that's code for something.
No, it's just all we have at our Rinky Dink golf course. We just have 1 9. But yeah, I'm so excited about this year. I mean, it's unreal. Everybody's, Brian Parrott in the chat gives me crap, saying that like, oh, everybody hypes up rookies every year. I wish we had this pod, because what rookies did we hype up last year, Buck?
Steele and Hicks.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the big one.
And Worthy. Yeah.
Yep.
And Worthy. Yeah.
Those were the rookies we hyped up. We're hyping them all up this year, which is a good freaking sign. And
I'm not
didn't
hyping
like
up
more from the start.
I don't want to put that juju on him, man. I hope he becomes the guy that you think he will become, but I'm not hyping him up.
All right. Well, I'm pretty sure he's going to be pretty
and I hope
good. I'm pretty sure he's going to be pretty good in the passing game. I'm pretty sure. I'm not saying he's going to be amazing, but I could see him having, I could see him beating Sky's career stats just this next year. 501 yards. That's Sky's career. That's Sky Moore's career stats.
That's not even a good year.
I can see him having. I mean, that's a great year for a running back that's thrown in on third downs. Yeah. I mean, that's an unbelievable year. All right, let's see what Cam has to say here.
Xavier was a beast and is going to light it up this year. Him and Rashee are going to battle for that wide receiver 1 spot. What about Hollywood Brown? You don't think he's going to have something to say about wide receiver 1?
Yeah, well, what's crazy is we don't really have a wide receiver. We don't really have an X wide receiver. We got
a whole different.
We got a lot of short guys. I mean, Tyquan Thornton could be an X receiver if he actually makes the team. Like he's like actually tall, and can actually streak down the field.
Cameron disagrees with me. So he thinks Brown is a has-been. All right. And he thinks we do have a wide receiver. So? Yeah. Rashee is hands down our number 1. I think he might be number 1 this year as the number 1 receiver.
Yeah, but Rashee's not really an X. Yeah, he isn't a guy that's gonna just go upfield like an Antonio Brown. Like we don't really have an X on the roster. Tyquan Thornton could be that, but like we have a lot of like Y and slot receivers, like a lot of them.
And Mahomes likes to throw it over the middle a lot and let them get some yak in the middle of the field.
You think Hollywood Brown? I mean, Hollywood Brown has a chance to. I mean, I don't know. I didn't see enough from Hollywood. I mean, he went out the first game of, like, the first play of preseason. That was. I just remember like the music played. It was like, ooh.
I think if this season goes the way that Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes wants it to go, there won't be anybody that is carrying the load. It's going to be evenly distributed. They want everybody to get something to eat, and they want to go into the playoffs making everybody guess who it could be, because it could be absolutely anybody on any given Sunday. And I think that's what the Chiefs want. They don't want anybody specifically carrying the load.
All right. Well, Cam with the hot take here.
Pat will spread the ball around, but just watch Rashee will be his favorite target. Rashee
at week 3 was set to be the number 1 wide receiver in the league at the end of the season. So I will have to agree with you here. Rashee is going to be the Rashit, like as long as he stays healthy.
That's the funniest thing that you've ever said during one of our during one of our lives.
But it's okay because Christian Fulton is on our team, so he can't intercept Patrick to hurt Rashee. So we've come full circle here. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean. Dude, Rashee Rice is probably the successor to Kelce. I mean, he was headed to that
take over the Kelce spot.
Yeah, and then Kelce had to step back up, and Worthy had to step up. Worthy wasn't supposed to get as much play. Worthy was supposed to do a lot of punt returns and stuff too. Mm-hmm. Like Worthy had to become Worthy a lot faster.
Until Pat took him out. Yep.
What does AC Chiefs fan have?
I think the silver lining of Rice's injury last year is that Pat now has 2 wide receivers that he has complete trust in. Yeah, I don't know that there's. I mean, if that's the silver lining, I guess. I don't know. I think it made Pat grow a little bit, honestly, and I was going to say learn to be more patient, but that was probably not the thing he learned last year, is to be patient. He really didn't have any time to be patient. I don't know. Maybe his reflexes got faster based on last year, and now he's got more
And you know, Pat still got the residual guilt over Rashee's injury.
You know it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
You know what, man? That's what
gotta suck.
it's got to suck. But, you know, Pat was 100% going for the ball when most teams they don't want their quarterback going in for that. But you're not going to tell Patrick Mahomes not to go try and get that ball back. I mean, that's what he was trying to do. It was just a really unlucky thing, man. But I hope he doesn't hold any guilt towards that. I really don't.
Yep. And Xavier did step it up.
Yep.
And if Xavier can get 2 feet in bounds on the sidelines this year, we're gonna be golden.
I think Hopkins had the effect on him. He learned how to snap those feet down to the ground like we saw Hopkins do. Remember that first week we saw him and we were like, look at him. Look what he did with his feet. Oh, my God. They can do that? Worthy, watch that. And then we started seeing Worthy do that and coming down in bounds a little bit more. I think that Hopkins didn't do a lot for us on the field, but I think he did a lot for us on the sidelines, more than most of us know. I really do.
Yep.
Worthy will be the first one to tell you that.
And then D-Hop, we thought this was going to be great, but if you remember back to this pod when he first came, I specifically, and I quote, said, I'm not sure Patrick Mahomes is going to know what to do with D-Hop because he has never had a receiver that he just throws it up to and they catch it one-on-one. He likes to throw to receivers that are open. He's going to have to be comfortable with throwing it into coverage. I said that before D-Hop even played a game.
Remember, and I don't remember, was it his first or second game that he played with us? Mahomes did. He had to throw it downfield, and he was triple covered, and he came down with the ball inside the 5, and it was successful, and we saw it happen, and we were like, okay, now Mahomes is going to trust him to do that. Nope, he still. He was just like,
stopped happening right there.
For him, it was the anxiety while the ball left his hand until it got into D-Hop's hand was way too much anxiety for him to handle ever again that season. Yeah, it sucks that we didn't get as much out of D-Hop as he really, he could be a benefit for this team, but
yeah,
it just doesn't fit the way that Mahomes likes to play.
But he was a good teacher for Worthy. Worthy talked about it in press conferences, how he just picked his brain. He helped him a bunch.
I'm forever a fan, for sure.
Good night. Oh, wait. Good night, HC Chiefs fan. I will check your email out after the show.
Thank you, sir.
Cameron brings up a point.
He shouldn't be, though. Bro, sit your ass down, bro. Take the pick on the chin and count on the defense. But hey, shit happens.
So this is a good point too, guys. Mahomes is not going to throw for 5,000 yards and 50 TDs this year simply because our defense is too good. So people that keep asking for that, stop. Because the reason he did that in 2018 is because our defense was not good. It was good sacks. It was a great fantasy defense. It was not a good defense in the sense of actually stopping scoring. So, yeah. We don't want him to throw for 5,000 yards and 50 TDs because it's kind of impossible with a good defense. So,
but I don't know, man. So he should just let the guy get away with the pick. That's not who Mahomes is. That's what that part of him makes him a great quarterback, is that he's such a competitor. And when I see Mahomes giving up after the guy has picked it off and he hasn't been tackled yet, then I know that Mahomes is in the home stretch. Like he's getting ready to retire at that point. I want Mahomes going after that. I don't want injuries happening, but that's part of the game, man. Like tush push. I don't like that, but that's part of the game, man.
You're actually answering is thing. I'm just pointing out something that he made me think of.
But I can't say that you're wrong either. I mean, I see your point of view. We don't want the guy getting hurt, and in this situation, he didn't get hurt, but one of the other, star players on the team got hurt. It sucks. I mean, I can't say you're wrong. That's the way I see it with Mahomes.
All right. This is going to be our last question, and we got to get out of here.
All right, Brian said, do you think Worthy and Rice can deal with hands-on, aggressive, man-to-man corner play? Does anybody play Carter and Hasty style? Wow.
Okay, Rice could definitely deal with it. I don't know about Worthy.
I think
Worthy's
Worthy
kind of small.
Yeah, Worthy's kind of small, and he relies more on his speed and agility. I mean, I don't think it's something he couldn't learn how to do, though. And maybe working with Rice, that'll be, he learned a lot from D-Hop. Maybe he can learn some other
work for that specific skill. You know who we should work with?
I know who you're going to say, and that's Tamba Ali.
Yep. Work with some jiu-jitsu. Use that opponent's weight to your advantage, rather your disadvantage.
Sometimes you say some silly things, but that is not silly at all. I think that's actually a really good idea.
That would be a good idea, wouldn't it?
You should text Tamba and suggest to get a hold of, to at least reach out to Worthy.
I'm going to do it. Yeah, I'll do it.
You should, man.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Tell me thought about it, and that's exactly what that guy needs, I think. Yeah.
Dude, it just came to me with this question because that is a tough thing. And if he could use their weight against them, that would be huge. And remember, Tamba talked about the guy that came in and made him feel dumb was about the same weight and size as Xavier Worthy.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody tweet at Tamba. Tweet at Tamba. I'll text him sometime this week. Good deal. All right. Well, guys, we've gone 2 hours. I can't keep Buck.
Yeah, I got to get up early tomorrow.
I can't keep Buck. Who is the number one quarterback in the Hall of Fame right now?
Man, there's so many. That's such a I would say Lenny the Cool.
Exactly.
But I mean, how can
Lenny
you argue
cool.
against Joe Montana? You know what I mean? That's just such
Lenny the Cool, because
Lenny
the
the
Chiefs
Cool.
fans,
Yeah.
we out.